Emily Carter stood near baggage claim 7, her shoulders aching from travel. She had barely slept on the flight from Ohio. Between studying for her nursing certification exam and working double shifts at a small community clinic, exhaustion had become her new normal. Still, she smiled faintly. Exhaustion was temporary. Discipline was permanent. That's what her mother used to say. Emily checked her phone. No new messages. No job offers yet. Just a calendar reminder, follow up with clinics tomorrow. She tucked the phone back into her coat pocket and focused on the conveyor belt in front of her. Suitcases began sliding down one by one, red, navy, grey, oversized, tiny carry-ons, each claimed quickly by impatient travelers. She spotted it, black, medium-sized, slight scratch near the corner, bent handle, exactly like hers. Without hesitation, she stepped forward, grabbed the handle, and pulled it off the carousel in one smooth motion. The habit of efficiency. She always moved quickly, always stayed alert, but tonight, fatigue softened her sharp edges. Across the terminal, only a short distance away, Daniel Whitmore ended a phone call. Yes, confirm the acquisition draft, he said calmly. And send me the revised projections before morning. He hung up and adjusted the cuff of his tailored charcoal coat. Even after a 5-hour flight from San Francisco, he stood straight, composed. His movements were measured, economical, nothing wasted. Daniel believed in structure. Every action had purpose. Every minute had value. He walked toward the same baggage carousel just as it slowed to a stop. His suitcase wasn't there. He frowned slightly, not in anger, but in calculation. He replayed the moment in his mind. The carousel. The black suitcase. A woman stepping forward confidently. He turned toward airport security. Excuse me, he said evenly. I believe my luggage was taken by mistake. Meanwhile, Emily stepped outside into the New York evening. The skyline shimmered in the distance, faintly visible beyond layers of traffic and buildings. She hailed a cab and gave the driver her address in Queens. As the taxi merged into traffic, she leaned her head back against the seat. Her mind drifted to the exam results. If she passed, it meant better opportunities. Maybe even running her own small clinic one day. She imagined serving neighborhoods where healthcare felt like a luxury instead of a right. She closed her eyes briefly. The taxi jerked to a stop at a red light. Emily glanced down at the suitcase. Something felt off. Her suitcase had a faded hospital sticker near the zipper from a volunteer trip 2 years ago. This one didn't. Her heart skipped. She pulled the suitcase closer and examined the tag. Daniel Whitmore. The name sounded familiar. She unlocked her phone and searched it quickly. Whitmore Industries. Renewable energy. Billions in revenue. Headquarters in Manhattan near Central Park. Her stomach dropped. Oh no. The taxi driver glanced at her in the rearview mirror. Everything okay? Ek se ek grabbed the wrong suitcase. The driver chuckled. Happens all the time. But this didn't feel ordinary. When she reached her small rented room, she carried the suitcase inside carefully, as if it were fragile glass. She set it on the bed and stared at it for a long moment. She could ignore it, call tomorrow, ship it back, but her mother's voice echoed in her mind. Fix mistakes fast. Delay makes them heavier. That sentence had shaped her entire life. When she broke a neighbor's window as a child, she confessed immediately. When she once miscounted money at the clinic register, she reported it before anyone noticed. Integrity wasn't dramatic. It was repetitive. It was habit. Her fingers trembled slightly as she unzipped the suitcase. Inside were sharply pressed suits, organized files, a sleek silver laptop, and a leather folder stamped with the word confidential. She didn't touch anything else. She didn't need to. This wasn't hers. She closed it immediately. Across the city, Daniel stood inside a glass-walled security office at the airport, watching footage replay on a monitor. There she was, a young woman in a simple coat, no hesitation in her step. No sneaky glance, no rush of guilt, just tired. She doesn't look like a thief, the security officer muttered. Daniel said nothing. He studied body language the way others studied spreadsheets. She didn't look opportunistic. She looked distracted. There's no criminal history under her name, the officer added after checking identification records tied to her boarding pass. Daniel nodded once. Thank you. That will be all. He walked out into the cool Manhattan night and entered his waiting car. The city lights reflected in the tinted window as the driver pulled away from the cab. He wasn't worried about the clothes. He wasn't even worried about the laptop. He was thinking about the documents. A $200 renewable energy acquisition. Months of negotiation. Trust was the currency of business. And tonight, trust sat inside a stranger's apartment. Back in Queens, Emily paced her small room. She searched the company website and found a contact number. It was late, but she dialed anyway. Voicemail. She hesitated, then hung up. No, that wasn't enough. She grabbed her coat again, lifted the suitcase, and headed back out. The cold air bit at her cheeks as she walked toward the subway station. She didn't wait for morning. Mistakes shouldn't sleep overnight. As she boarded the train toward Manhattan, she stared at the suitcase between her shoes. Around her, strangers scrolled through phones, listened to music, stared blankly at advertisements overhead. No one knew she carried something worth millions. No one knew that a small decision was quietly shaping her future. And across the city, in an office overlooking Central Park, Daniel Whitmore stood by the window, hands clasped behind his back. His assistant entered. Sir, we've traced the passenger. She left the airport about 40 minutes ago. Daniel's gaze remained on the dark park below. Let me know if she contacts us, he said calmly. As if summoned by the universe itself, his phone buzzed seconds later. Unknown number, he answered. Mr. Whitmore, a soft but steady voice spoke. I believe I accidentally took your suitcase. He closed his eyes briefly. There it is, he thought. Character. I see, he replied evenly. And what are you planning to do about it? A pause. I'm bringing it to you right now. Daniel's expression shifted, barely noticeable, but real. Most people delay honesty. Few accelerate it. Come to the 42nd floor, he said. I'll be waiting. The call ended. Daniel placed the phone down slowly. Somewhere beneath the layers of discipline and billion-dollar decisions, a quiet curiosity stirred. Because success, he believed, wasn't built only on strategy. It was built on patterns. And tonight, somewhere in the New York subway system, a tiredness was proving that the smallest habit, doing the right thing immediately, could be more powerful than any fortune. Emily stepped out, clutching the black suitcase tightly. The hallway was silent, carpeted in deep gray, walls lined with abstract art and framed awards. Through the floor-to-ceiling windows at the far end, the lights of Central Park shimmered under the night sky. She had never been inside a corporate tower before. Her shoes felt too simple, her coat too thin, her breathing too loud, but honesty gave her something stronger than confidence. It gave her calm. At the end of the hallway, Daniel Whitmore stood near the window, Manhattan glowing behind him. He had removed his coat. His posture was relaxed but deliberate, like a man who never wasted movement. When he turned, his eyes settled on her, not suspicious, not angry. Observing. You came quickly, he said. Emily nodded and stepped forward, placing the suitcase carefully on a polished conference table. I'm very sorry, Mr. Whitmore. I should have checked the tag more carefully. Daniel didn't respond immediately. Silence filled the room, not heavy, but thoughtful. Most people rush to fill silence. He never did. You opened it, he said finally. Yes, only to confirm the name. I didn't touch anything else. Why not? The question surprised her. She blinked. Because it wasn't mine. Daniel studied her face carefully. No shifting eyes, no defensive posture, just tired sincerity. He walked forward, unzipped the suitcase, and checked the contents. The confidential folder was exactly where he had placed it. The laptop undisturbed. He closed it slowly. Do you know what's in here? He asked. No, sir. A business acquisition worth over $200 million. Emily's stomach tightened. I understand if you thought I didn't, he interrupted gently. That caught her off guard. I review people for a living, he continued. Investors, executives, partners. You can tell when someone is calculating. He paused. You won't. Emily exhaled quietly. She hadn't realized she'd been holding her breath. Daniel walked toward his desk and leaned against it casually. What do you do, Emily? I am a nurse. I just completed my certification. Congratulations. Thank you. He tilted his head slightly. Why nursing? It wasn't a standard executive question. It felt personal. She hesitated only a moment. My mother was sick when I was a teenager. We couldn't always afford proper care. One nurse treated her like she mattered, even when no one else did. I decided that day, I wanted to be that person for someone else. Daniel's gaze sharpened. There was no rehearsed ambition in her voice. No corporate polish, just conviction. And what's your next step? He asked. I'm applying to community clinics. I want to work where help is needed most. Rural areas, low-income neighborhoods. Daniel folded his arms thoughtfully. Whitmore Industries had a philanthropic division, the Whitmore Foundation. It funded education, renewable energy projects, and medical outreach programs in underserved communities. But he struggled constantly with one issue. Finding people he could trust to lead those programs. Not people who wanted prestige. Not people who wanted a stepping stone. People with habits of service. He looked at her again. You took the subway here, didn't you? Yes. You could have waited until morning. I didn't want the mistake to grow overnight. Daniel almost smiled. That sentence. It lingered. In business, delays cost millions. In life, delays cost character. You live by routines, don't you? He asked. She gave a small nod. Habits keep life simple. He walked back to the window, staring down at the city lights. When I started my company, he said slowly, I had nothing but routines. Wake up before sunrise. Study markets. Take risks others avoided. Repeat. People think success is about one big opportunity. He turned back toward her. It isn't. It's about disciplined habits repeated when no one is watching. The room felt less intimidating now. More human. Emily gathered courage. Then why test me? A faint spark of amusement crossed his face. I wasn't testing you. He stepped closer. Life was. Silence settled again, but this time it felt warm. Finally, Daniel walked to his desk and opened a drawer. He pulled out a folder stamped with the Whitmore Foundation logo. We are launching a medical outreach program in upstate New York. Small towns. Limited access to healthcare. I need someone on the ground to help organize clinics, manage volunteers, coordinate care. Emily blinked. I don't have management experience. I don't need management experience. He held her gaze. I need integrity. Skills can be trained. Character cannot. Her heart pounded. Why me? Because you carried $200 million across New York City and didn't think once about keeping it. Her eyes widened. I never would have. I know. That was the difference. He wasn't rewarding her. He was recognizing her. Daniel extended the folder toward her. 6-month contract to start. Paid. Housing provided. If you prove consistent, it becomes permanent. Emily stared at the folder as if it might disappear. Just hours ago, she had been worried about rent. Now this. All because she picked up the wrong suitcase and chose the right habit. Tears shimmered in her eyes, but she blinked them back. I won't disappoint you, she said quietly. Daniel shook his head. Don't work to impress me. Work to stay consistent. She nodded. Consistency. She understood that word deeply. As she turned to leave, Daniel added, Emily. She paused. Thank you. Not as a CEO. Not as a billionaire. As a man who valued honesty. 6 months later, a small rural town in upstate New York had a functioning community health center funded by the Whitmore Foundation. Vaccination drives, prenatal care, health education workshops. Emily moved through the clinic with steady focus, calm, organized, patient. Her habits hadn't changed. Her environment had. Daniel visited quietly one afternoon, observing from the doorway. Children laughed in the waiting area. Volunteers followed her direction confidently. Patients thanked her warmly. He realized something powerful. Success multiplies when habits meet opportunity. Emily noticed him and walked over, surprised but smiling. You came. I had to see if my investment was wise. She laughed softly, and he looked around the clinic. I'd say picking up the wrong suitcase was the most profitable mistake I've ever made. They stood side by side, watching families receive care they once couldn't afford. Neither mentioned money again, because the real return wasn't financial. It was impact.